you. Welcome to another episode of Connected Women Win. I am here with my sister friend, Kim Vaughn. And this, I tried to get my husband on, but hey, baby steps. He did the workshop. So, baby steps. One day it'll happen. So, I thought, you know what, Kim is the next, not to say that you're second best, Kim. But I thought Kim would be the appropriate guest for today as we talk about love, marriage, and pursuing your dreams.
And y'all, when I read this book, I was like, oh my gosh, this woman has been stalking my life. Because I'm serious, everything in there, I was like, she gets me. She actually gets me. I am here. Yes, I give myself permission.
Hey everybody, I am Kim Vaughn. I'm a vocal artist. I also mentor women. I help them overcome life's challenges and embrace freedom. I'm also a vocal coach. I help prepare speakers for speeches and singers. I encourage them and guide them to improving their craft, their gift.
Kim is the one that helps me when I am preparing for my own topics, my speeches, my workshops, everything. She's the one that I go to because you know the saying, every coach needs a coach, right? And it's good to surround yourself with people. And so Kim is the one that I will bounce my ideas off of, that I'll go and say, I am nervous, Kim. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. And she'll patiently walk me through the speech that's in me, but help me to organize it, even help me in how I articulate it to the audience. So if you are in the space where you need somebody to help you like that, Kim Vaughn is the woman that you need to go to. But we're going to talk about this dream that she has and how she's helping people. But of course, because it's Valentine's Day, we definitely want to talk about love and marriage. And Kim is one of my accountability partners that I would say that we go back. How many years, Kim?
25, 24, 25 years back.
Yeah, we knew each other when. And we both knew each other before we got married. I think I met you, Kim. I was just coming to Montgomery. I was 19 years old. You were 15, 16 years old. And so when we talk about our history, I want to give y'all a point of reference to just let you know that we've seen each other through life's journeys. We've seen each other in our, I would say, her teenage years, my college years, pre-married, pre-kids, and everything in between, even pre-businesses,
Yep.
you know, and I wanted to have this conversation around love, marriage, and pursuing your dreams, because I think, especially being Christian women in business, that sometimes people don't put the three together. Would you say, Kim?
Absolutely. You're right.
Yeah, they don't put the three together because sometimes people, women, not just people, women, feel like, how can you make it work? How can you, especially a woman with dreams, how can you pursue your dreams and be married to a man or be with a man who is not threatened by the pursuit of your dreams and that can handle the success of what you're doing? And that is a journey that we've had to take. Kim, do you want to share some enlightened people in your journey on that?
I want to say, when you were talking about the three, managing your marriage, your personal life, right, and trying to pursue dreams, some women, we tend to think that we have to compartmentalize these things, right?
Right.
The baskets, my life as a mom or a wife, and then my life as a business owner, and
Right.
those separate. But for me, I couldn't keep those three separate. It was like I had to have my life and it all meshed together. Like I needed my husband on board with me. I didn't need his permission to venture on in a as a business owner, but I did personally want his support. I wanted him on board and in the battle with me to get it started. Of course, with parenting, there's no way you can get away with parenting and being an entrepreneur. I'm sorry. Right. You go from a phone call to taking somebody to a piano lesson. You know, it's all meshed in your day. And if you try to separate it all, you lose yourself.
Yeah.
So everybody got to come on board with me. Everybody's got to find their place with me. My business as an adventure is just as important as our home as a whole. So it's like everybody's got to get on board, just like we all have to get in the kitchen and cook together, you know.
Right.
When you said that, I was like, yeah, we do. It keeps a lot of women from even starting and pursuing and reaching for their dreams because they don't see room for their personal dreams or the things that they've always stored inside. And I would like to talk about that a little bit.
Sure, go for it.
You know, for me, I tell you, when I decided to stop dreaming and sitting on a dream and to start moving, I didn't tell anybody anything. I started preparing and getting myself together so that when I didn't want to hear a no, I didn't want to hear, well, you don't have time. I didn't want to give anybody the permission to stop me or to say no. I already threatened, you know, by what could possibly be said by my husband or by my friends. So I just started planning because I said, you know what, I'm not going to sit on this anymore. But as I began to plan, and when they saw, it's like when they saw the results of my actions, they got hurt. You know, my husband primarily, he was my biggest cheerleader. Once he found out that I was serious about something, he was like, okay, I guess you're right. Okay, I guess you really are serious about this thing. So what you gonna do? And it gave me so much liberty because it was still like, okay, what are you gonna do? What do you need me to do for you? And I was like, okay. So I didn't have to, you know, it just worked. And I know that's everybody's situation, but it does start with a choice to dig your heels and go for what's inside of you, because nobody else is going to give you permission to move on that.
So Kim, you said some stuff right there. I want to make sure we backtrack to. You said you had to see it for yourself first.
Yes.
And that, God downloaded a dream on the inside of you that you had to catch hold of and believe, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And what I also heard you say is that when God did download, you didn't say anything. Does that include to your husband? Did you say anything to him at all?
At first, no. You know, when you're coming out of fear, Tasha, I was coming out of a place of fear. And I also had the stigma of people pleasing. So I was so used to my dependency being on everyone around me. Giving a heads up, the okay, or the permission to do anything. You know, I would tell them by asking little questions to see if I got a yay. And so it came time for me to just shut it down. And I'm saying, I know I've said it to you several times, when you're tired enough, you will know that you're tired of asking all permission all the time, or when you're tired of putting up with the same that heaviness inside for not doing anything or acting on what you know you should be doing, you will know, and everybody else around you will know that you are, because they will see the difference. So it was a time for me to stop talking and to start putting my hit the ground moving.
Yeah. So when you first started doing that, because you were doing things differently than you were before, was there any resistance from your husband in moving forward before he became the believer and started seeing all the results? Was there some resistance?
Well, I will say this. I did get some side eyes. That was resistance, because let me tell you what I did. And this is hindsight, and I don't encourage anybody to do it. I was fighting for my life. So what I did is I made this plan, right, to make a move and be this entrepreneur. So I was going to quit my job, right? So, so even in my planning, I said, okay, babe, I'm finna quit this is the thing. I'm finna start this and I'm gonna be quitting. And you know, my selfish self was like, this is the way it's gonna be. You're gonna have to, you know, continue to carry everything until I get this, you know, because I had a fight, but my fight wasn't all the way right. It was a little selfish in there. So he did give me side eye, like, okay, I know you're going through something.
Yeah.
But you need to think, oh, have you thought this through? You know, and so it brought more conversation. So yes, I did get resistance. I did get some side eye from him, like, what is she doing? Almost like he was like, I'm gonna let you be this, whatever this is. But wait a minute, when it comes to affecting our home, I do have something to say. You know what I'm saying? So he did give me some side eyes and asked me to be a little bit wise about the choices I was making. So yes, I did that. And it did. It just made me, you know, I had to calm down and think about how my decisions were affecting my home. So yes, it did bring that.
So because we talk about this all the time, and I love that you're the one I'm having this conversation with today, because we know that that's not everybody's reality.
Right.
We know that there are some women who are in relationships where there can be verbal abuse, there can be emotional abuse, where maybe they don't have the liberty. And I know neither one of us are counselors, so I'm not asking us to go there with that, but to acknowledge it.
Okay.
That is a reality. And so you're a mentor. I do coaching. How do you encourage women who come to you to say, I have this dream, but my husband is not on board? Like, what would you do to encourage them?
You know what? I back up from the dream and I say, let's start with communication. Because if you don't already have the foundation of communication with your spouse, for whatever reason, we're not even going forward to any type of abuse, but if you're not able to talk to your spouse, like as a general friend, as a friend, then we need to back up. Like, you can't, I wouldn't encourage you to jump out and, you know, of course you may not have that liberty if you don't communicate, if you don't talk about day-to-day activities, if he didn't already know what you're passionate about, and then you pop out saying, I'm going to do something, do this. It's like, I didn't even know you like to do that, you know, and you don't include me in your conversation. So I encourage women to back it up, start with communicating with general stuff, and then you can still be working towards your dream without having to have that conversation just yet, because you have to be to that. You're making a big leap that may affect your home, whichever way that looks. So before you make that big leap, start by talking about, did you know I like to sing?
Yeah.
You know, I love to work out. I'm considering being a workout instructor. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All conversations. And then that's how to be honest, that's how you pique your spouse's interest. You let them know more about who you are.
Yeah. And we definitely know that every situation is different. Every marriage is different, every relationship. So totally get that. I want to move to a different angle in this conversation, because I think it's that people need to see the healthiness of what this looks like too, because we do see a lot of the destructive side of it, but we also need to show the positive. Like, it is possible to be married, to be in business, to be in love, and to be an effective parent. Like, it is possible. And I think sometimes because we see the destructive side of things so much, that because I know I wrestle with this too. Do you feel like sometimes, maybe I shouldn't share as much?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, real talk, you know?
This is one of those pick your battle type deals, you know, because, you know, with Chris and with my husband, in the area of me pursuing my dream and my passions, I don't have a lot of flack. I don't catch a lot of flack from him. Now, there may be another area we go back to back, like we go, you know, I have to dig in and he digs his heels and we just go to bat. But in the area of the things that I want to pursue. I'm blessed to not have had a lot of fight with him over this,
Yeah.
because I support. He's really, really good with that. But I will tell you, there are still days that we are not in agreement. We don't agree with everything. And I know that for some choices that I make, he may not need to know specific details because of his character. Because of it.
Okay.
So you have to know. My husband is a money man. He's a money manager. Like, he is very good with numbers and accounting and finance. Excuse me. So if I mention anything about throwing an event, or if I throw out a dream or a passion about doing something that involves money, I have to come to him with it all. I have to come to him with like a chart as an accountant, almost. Like, he wants to know how much it's gonna cost me. Have you figured all this A, B, C, D, F, G out? I'm like, that's not my strength, sir. That I have not. I'm just trying to tell you that I'm gonna, that I have this in place, that this is what I'm working for. So that's where we rub, I think that's where we kind of have a little friction. But I know him well enough not to go to him on certain things until I can answer what he has questions on. You know what I'm saying?
That's
because
good.
And he's not ready for it, and I ain't got time to sit there and go around the mulberry bush with him on until I'm ready.
That makes sense. And how long have y'all been married, Kim?
It'll be 16 years in April.
Okay. Good deal. And y'all have 2 girls. And so what you're saying is that you have taken time, one, to understand yourself, to know the purpose and the plans that God has for you. That helps you to know what you bring to the table to your marriage. And what I'm hearing you say is that you are taking time to learn him, to learn what works, what doesn't work, even in how you approach him and things. Is that right?
Absolutely. We both are. We're learning each other. Every new change, because we grow. You know what I'm saying? 16 years together, you grow and you change. So it's not like, oh, I know him and it's wrapped with the bow. No.
Right.
New things that come up all the time that we are both having to, I don't know about that yet.
Absolutely.
So it's like, okay, we're working together to grow. And that's just the bottom line for us but we care enough. We care enough to go through that sticky, those sticky stages to get to the next level.
Amen. I know Morris and I we've been together for 24 years. We just celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary last year, knock on wood. And I totally get what you're saying, because for me in the beginning, and I can only tell my story, I can't tell his story. But I know in the beginning, I had the fairy tale all in my head about what marriage was supposed to be and how he was supposed to have my back and how he was supposed to be there for me and what a man was supposed to do and all this stuff. But then, after the honeymoon, the fairy tale, that went away. Probably during the honeymoon, because we did get into an argument on our honeymoon, no lie. But what I'm learning through these years, like, being on this side of it now, and I know that there's people that have probably been married that can run circles around us. But what I'm learning is that at the end of the day, it is literally about, how do I see myself in this? Like, who is Tasha? Because Morris is not my God, he's my husband. And God still has plans and purposes for us, whether we're single, whether we're married, and everything in between. So just because we're a woman and we have a man in our life, it doesn't negate God's purpose.
Yes. I want to jump back on that communication thing. Tonight, for the first couple of years of our marriage, he was perfect to me, like perfect. Man, oh my gosh, I've never had a man like this. He is just awesome, right? Awesome. Well, it only takes one major thing to happen for you to be like deflated. Okay, So, but I learned, when I say communication, like, we were best friends. Chris and I married were friends first, became best friends, and then we got married. Our families knew each other. So I know that there's an advantage there that we really are good friends, but I
Yeah,
see him on a pedestal to start, right?
I got
But
you.
and it was the communication was good
Yeah,
before, but when things got real, communication, like we had to work on communication, and now our communication is a lot, I would say a lot better than before. When
right.
at pedestal, I see him as a human being. I see
Yeah,
him um as a man with flesh
yeah.
on his body. I see that he has flaws. And
Hmm.
so with that, when you notice that you're not talking to a perfect person,
Yeah,
you let your guard down. So I was able
yeah,
to, you know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
was released and let my guard down. And I gave him I let him off the hook from being perfect, which is what he needed all along. Was like, girl, you must don't know who you're married to. And once I gave him that liberty, we were able to kick back and really dig our heels in growing and communicating and getting to know each other. So
right.
that, that's why I say the communication thing, before I can talk about a dream, I
Yeah,
have to know that he's just as human as I am. We both
yeah.
have things that we're probably hiding inside. And
Hmm.
until we just really get real with each other, we can't even talk about those things. Like
Right,
from jump, talk about them. And
right.
then if we don't talk about them and I just start moving, on my own thing, doing my own thing because I don't want to talk, and then
Yeah,
can't talk because he's perfect, then I'm gonna leave him. I'm talking about we might still be married, we might still live at this address, but I'm going somewhere else. My focus has left our marriage altogether, and my focus is totally on my dream. And that's what I
yeah.
want to make sure when we're communicating, we want to make sure we're doing this thing together. He's not interested in coaching, mentoring, or he has no interest in those things, but he is interested in who I am. And because I know who I am, he
Hmm.
can, you know what I'm saying? He's got
Yeah,
something to hold to. He says, okay, I can take you and cash you at the bank because you're for real about what you're doing and you're for
right.
real you are. So that's what communication does.
That's good, Kim. And I know, man, this went by so quick. It's already 4:26 because I know you got to go, you got pickup duty today. But real quick, I want you, and we may have to do a part two to this because there's so much that we can cover just on this one topic alone. But what would you say to the woman today who is sitting on the other side of this, who she's sitting on a dream, but maybe her marriage is not in the place where she desires it to be, and she's conflicted with who she is, where she's going, all of that stuff? Can you just give some wisdom and
You know,
encouragement?
I would say this: it's time to quiet all noise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's time to quiet everything and decide on what you want. I would
Yeah,
say, girl, to that woman, what do you want? And if
yeah,
your marriage, then that's the way you start. You start with that choice of wanting your marriage. Sometimes there may be so many things happening and so much clutter going on. We don't know what we want. We don't know where we
that's right.
go, how, what to get started with.
That's
And
right.
I I encourage everybody to there is a time for you to retreat, surrender, and quiet the noise and refocus on what you desire and the
That's
desire
right.
right there in your heart. Because if you want your marriage, let's
Yeah.
start there. Let's just start with the choice of wanting to be a part of this marriage. If you
Can I
want, go ahead.
I'm sorry, this is so good what you're saying, Kim, because I think that there is a group of women that we are talking to that maybe they're in a place where, like, we don't condone abuse, we don't condone, we're not, as women, we're not doormats, and there's a healthiness that God desires for us. So we please hear our hearts in this. But what you just said, I gotta highlight, Kim. You said if you're in a place where you're torn and you're like, I really want this, I don't know how, make a decision, or what do you want? And here's the thing, it's not even what you're, this is you. This is not even about what do you and he want, what do you want? And Kim, I will say this, you and I have had that kind of relationship where it has been an iron sharpens iron in our relationships, because we both have been at places, different times of our journey, where we both had to make that decision, right? But the thing that I would say that I appreciate about you is you were never that friend that told me, girl, you need to just leave. And I never was that friend for you either. We gave each other space and grace.
Right, right.
You know, so I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just wanted to highlight that part.
That is correct. Even with mentoring women, I mentor married women who have issues all the time. You will not hear from my mouth to leave your husband or to stay with your husband.
Right.
That's a place. You know, I'm interested in who you are. And I find, to be honest, start with yourself.
Yes.
Yourself. And that's why I say a lot of things, a lot of times we have so much clutter going on that we don't even know what we want. So start there. And I will say this, find an example. Look around, not comparing yourself or comparing your, but if there is something, a quality that you see that you want for your marriage, you start mimicking that quality. Don't become like anybody else. But if there's something you see that you can implement in a change, feel free to do so. Do what you need to do concerning yourself, and even concerning your dream. Like, start where you are. Start with your choice. A lot of, you know what, Tasha? I think it was you that said, have you written it down?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, ooh, I do need to start myself. I don't even know if I was to write down what I wanted, because writing down what I wanted meant exposure. Like, I don't care who sees it. It's just like, I read it and I'm like, oh man, did I just put down what I wanted? You know, it's out now. And I can't unsee it, or I can't unsay it, or unwrite what I put down on this paper. So start with yourself. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with looking and finding mentorship, looking and finding guidance, seeking guidance.
Yes, absolutely. The two most powerful love connections as a woman, and I'm speaking to us as women, but the two most powerful love connections are our connection to God and our connection to ourselves. That has nothing to do with your relationship status. Not a thing. I don't care if you're watching this and you're single, married, divorced, and anything in between. This goes for all of us. Our two most powerful love connections are God and ourselves. It matters what God says about us, and it matters what we say about ourselves. Because when we can get to know ourselves, we also know what we bring to the table when it comes to a relationship. And that, to me, that is worth fighting for.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Kim, I know you gotta go. Man.
I do have to leave, but before we leave, let's talk about the love, this friendship love, real quick.
Okay, go ahead. Go for it.
And I know that we're in front of a lot of people that follow you. I just want to let you know in front of everybody that you have been a faithful friend to me.
Aww.
It's amazing that you get to see the hidden, the raw side of him, and you still love me. Like, so it's some real love coming from you, Tasha. So I want to say thank you for being a friend. I'm talking about the friend when I don't want you as my friend.
That's the insider.
the kind of friend that can just show up and really see the potential in me and push me towards it when I'm gritting my teeth. I really appreciate you for that. I appreciate you loving me as your sister and being a part of your extended family. Like, it's been real. It's been very, very real. And thank you for being open enough to share your journey with me. Like, it's been over 20 something years, and I'm the good, the bad, the ugly, and now, you know, I'm still seeing you grow and pursue. It's really good to see your friends pushing, because it keeps you pushing. So thank you so much.
Amen. And vice versa, Kim. Like, I'm pro accountability, pro like get you some support. And I'll say the same thing to you. And this is why I wanted you to be a guest today, because I want people to see all of me. I want people to see the people that have my back, you know. And you're right, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Girl, we got some stories to tell that we don't have time for on here. But I think that's the part of friendship, especially because we talked about the marriage. Okay, so we're done with that. But when it comes to women, I think sometimes people are not willing to go to bat for people, because as soon as things get uncomfortable, or as soon as we see the ugliness in people, that's our society. Like, we're out. But to be able to have people that can stand in the trenches with you and see you raw, to see you vulnerable, and to still say, I got your back, that's worth its weight in gold.
Let me tell you, I value that. I value friendships. You know, I value relationships.
Yeah.
Even with my family, I value my family. There is a very little space outside of loving on people. Like, I really love my family. I'm very, very passionate about my family, and I'm very passionate about the people I come in contact with. And so I take it very seriously, like to heart, almost to the cultivation of friendships on purpose. So I couldn't let you end this segment talking about love and marriage and relationship, because you've lived through it all with me,
and vice versa.
You stayed as my friend through all of this, and you're still here, and that's so rare. And I just want to I appreciate you, because I don't have to pretend. I don't have to cut on anything with you. You really do love me, just like
I do.
So, and
I do. And that, and hear this, y'all. The love that we're talking about it ain't always roses.
Right.
You know, and I had to say it like that. Like, there are days where we will call each other out. Like, I don't know if everybody can handle that kind of pressure, you know, and it's a good kind of pressure, because it's the peer pressure that you want.
Yeah.
You know, so I know we got to go. We're going to have to do a part 2 to this, Kim, but the reason why I wanted you on is because, again, I wanted people to be able to see what's possible. Like, it is possible to be in love, married, pursuing your dreams, but it's also possible to have some solid support around you that has nothing to do with the man, that has nothing to do with marriage or anything like that, but having a solid support system, because I believe that is the deal breaker for a lot of people in them going to the next level.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. So now we both got to go put on our mom hats. So we definitely got to do a part 2 to this. Kim, thank you. Tell them again how people, what you do and how people can connect with you.
All right, guys, my website has everything on it, kimvaughn.com. Go find and check it out. You can contact me. My number's on there. There's a contact form for you to fill out. If you're interested in vocal sessions with me, or if you're preparing as a speaker, please reach out to me, and I'll see how I can help you. Overcome Mentoring is my mentoring program. I do one-on-one sessions. We get real. Like I said, we do some goal planning. We identify the hindrances and the blockers. We pursue your God-given passion by quieting the noise and moving you forward. And then I give you a challenge to grow in your next level. We actually get you on assignment so that I can see you moving. And that's a 6-week program, Overcome Mentoring. So check out kimvaughn.com. And I'm a vocalist. I love worshiping, guys. I love singing and worshiping. So any conferences or workshops, please check me out. Contact me and we'll talk. Thank you for the opportunity, Tosh.
Yes, and she is really good, y'all. So thank y'all for joining me. This is another episode of Connected Women Win, where I am bringing you dynamic women like Kim, and we are talking about connecting to God, yourself, so that you can connect to your purpose and properly connect to others.